have some.
Sequel trilogy.
Yes.
7 years since Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
5 since Last Jedi.
Yes.
3 since Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Still strong on The Force Awakens. Still nostalgic. I think the movie holds up. I've gone back and rewatched it. I still love Daisy Ridley's performance and Adam Driver, and their story back and forth is extremely compelling. Finn is a really good character in that movie. His decision to leave the dark side and come to help the rebellion. And just the mystery that was surrounding The Force Awakens before it came out, how quiet and like tightly bound everything on set was. And we'll never really have a moment like that again. Or it's like we've waited this long period of time, so opening it up, it's just like lights and I've gone back thinking, well, maybe this wasn't as good as I recall it being, but it really is a great movie. You've got Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. Like, you've got originals returning. Then you've got a brand new character, Rey, who is like so worthy of the being the center of that film and of those films. And I had really high hopes for her story and for where she fit in the galaxy and how she got there and what she was going to do and how she would change things. I was let down by The Last Jedi. That was, I have really conflicted, strange feelings. Like, I have never healed from that movie. When I think back, I was so hyped and ready. We were just talking about at the beginning of filming Wookiees and Cookies years back. We were doing it because we wanted to capitalize on The Last Jedi coming out. And I was like, this is going to be, there's no way that this can fail. It's like the Titanic.
How could this be bad?
Could this,
right.
This can't be bad. We've built it. We've got the man. Well, at that point, no, we had a new man, Ryan Johnson. And I guess I just trusted the story to have been written before that movie and like seen with a vision for where things were going to go, because it felt very much like that game where you're like, you write a sentence of the story and then you like pass it on to a friend, like whatever. Yeah. And to me, that is not, that Star Wars is too good for that in a lot of ways. It used to be. It means a lot to people, and those characters are like family members to people, and people have really like just good feeling towards the movie, and just like I do, seeing the creatures and the aliens and the little fuzzy fun guys. Like it's important to people, and that
holy shit, you're getting so mad.
I mean, this is how I really feel. Like in the beginning of the show, we're like, oh, let's reminisce and be sweet and stuff, but this is the stuff that this was our time. Like we were in our glory days.
You sound like a Snyder Cut person.
I am not.
This was our time.
Oh God, y'all!
This was our moment. No, I get it.
Yeah, and I was conflicted, and maybe it says more about me. I'm not sure, but I can't go back and watch that movie and have a good feeling throughout it all. I can be happy at moments. I like to see the Jedi texts in the temple burning. I love Yoda. I love Luke talking. Don't even mind the porgs, but I didn't like the directionlessness with Rey. I didn't like the like lack of completion and like of wanting to see Luke train her. I didn't hear her worship Luke, but I wanted to see that relationship between him and her.
Damn.
Yes.
All right. Jake?
I mean,
Jake. Everyone learns Abby and Jake are kind of the same person.
Yeah.
Force Awakens is a perfect movie. I think Force Awakens is as good as any film in the original trilogy. Like, it could hold itself with those movies any day. Force Awakens felt so... I saw Force Awakens so many times in the movie theater. I made my mom go see it. It was a lot like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like, I went and saw it so many times. I cried I could not believe I could not believe that it was so perfect. Like, so many movies, especially sequels, never live up to the original, and the fact that they were going to come out with new Star Wars after, the prequel trilogy and everything, I was like, ugh. I thought there was nothing that I thought could be better than Force Awakens,
and you were right.
And I was right. The Last Jedi is insane to me. The way they made that movie makes the fact that Star Wars, the biggest fucking IP in the world, Disney, the fact that they took so much care with Force Awakens But then they said, okay, now give it to this guy. Do whatever you want. We won't even read the script. It felt like they didn't even, they were like, we're going to go take a vacation and you make a movie. Hey, you know what? We're on movie. What was the fucking part? What part is that? Is what
Eight.
We're on part 8 of a saga. There's only going to be 9 in this saga. Fuck up everything. Change everything. Just throw everything out the window and do whatever you want. And that is insane to me that somebody let that movie get made. Finn,
that's why Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired tomorrow.
Finn is awful. Finn is awful in that movie. They like completely waste Finn in that movie. Finn and Rose going off to do their own thing in Canto Bight is the worst thing in all 3 of those films. They said setting up Phasma in Force Awakens is when you watch Force Awakens, you're like, what is Phasma? What is this? And it's all crap in The Last Jedi. That being said, the throne room battle is awesome. Like after he kills Snoke and they do the little, like, that is a really great sequence. And the Yoda scene is my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. It just happens to be in the worst movie in all of, like, it's literally Last Jedi is my, other than Solo, which I don't count.
Doesn't even count.
It's not in the saga. Last Jedi, I think it's the worst movie out of all of them. So
forget about these.
So yeah, I don't know, and it's not my issues with like what they did with Luke. That's not my issues with it. It's just the fact that they just decided to try to flip so many things on its head. They're like negating things that happened in the last movie so much that they had to rehire J.J. Abrams and say, hey, please fix what he did. And then
Ryan Johnson's like a bad plumber. He's like,
and then they had to go back and retcon things that, like, when the last 2 movies are just retconning each other, it's what's the point? It's like it doesn't feel Force Awakens feels special. It feels like they took care to make everything really nice and try to bring in a new mystery. And then it feels like the directors of the last 2 movies hate each other and they're trying to erase each other's shit. And I'm like, what is the point?
Yeah, it reminds me of, here's my fun restaurant metaphor. It feels like when the owners of a restaurant decide to like go away for like the busiest weekend or something, and the staff is just left to like, well, we're out of bread, we're out of butter, we're out of everything. And
so wait a minute. Ryan Johnson's out of butter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has no idea like how much chopstick we have.
So listen, I completely agree with you guys. To me, Force Awakens, listen, could you have a nuanced discussion on whether the plot too closely resembled A New Hope? Sure, you could have that discussion, but it's not about that. It was about, we're going to reintroduce Star Wars and simultaneously bring it back. It's going to have everything you want. I think, Jake, you pinpointed that mystery. Who is Rey? Why is she?
Why is Rey?
Why is Rey?
Why does she have an X-wing helmet?
Where'd she get that?
Yeah.
Why does she have a little doll of an X-wing pilot? She loves X-wings. Dude, Rey was a Black Series collector. Okay. Anyways, and I felt bad for her. I love The Force Awakens. I think everything, Abby, that you said about Finn, that's a really interesting storyline. I thought the introduction of Poe Dameron was like, oh, he's got like a little Han Solo. He's got a little bit of Luke in him. Like he's got like a good amalgamation.
He's a bit of both. Yeah.
A little bit of everything. And my excitement for The Last Jedi was so high. I mean, we were at Star Wars Celebration that year in Orlando, and like the trailer was fucking awesome. And it's just like when the movie came out, like I found myself defending it a lot because I've never been as low on it as I think you guys. Like I have major issues with it, and it's a toss up if it's my, I don't know if I like that or Rise of Skywalker more. I still can't figure it out.
We haven't even talked about Rise. Like that's not even entered.
But what I will say is that to me, the thing about The Last Jedi is the highs are very high. Like Jake said, the Yoda and Luke scene is incredible. But
there's only 2 of them. There's only 2 highs, though.
Well,
name a third high in the Last Jedi.
Benicio del Toro.
Nope, he's awful. In that.
He's
Oh
so
no,
bad.
I'm calling
He's
you
so
out
awful.
right there.
He's
Yeah,
really
awful.
bad. He's really bad.
yeah.
DJ.
Pointless, meaningless.
No, but I think
DJ.
the Yoda and Luke scene is great. I do think the throne room scene is great. I really like the end of the movie with all the AT-AT walkers and Kylo freaking out and what they did with Luke. It's one of those things where I like what they did more than how I like the execution of it. Like if I just read what it was, I'd be a little bit more like, wow, that's really amazing and powerful. But the execution feels off. And I think part of the reason is that we don't spend enough time with Luke Skywalker at this part of his life. I didn't cry when Luke died. You should be crying when Luke Skywalker dies.
Yeah,
It's
not
weird.
scratching your head like, is it him or yeah?
It's weird to set up. So the Force Awakens, even though the movie is about Rey and figuring out what her, deal is, Force Awakens, every second of that film is telling you how important Luke Skywalker is to the universe. Like
Right.
every part of it. Every fucking part of that movie is fueled by where's Luke? We need Luke. We gotta find Luke Skywalker. And the end of that movie with Rey walking up to Luke and handing his lightsaber back to him is such an amazing fucking moment. And the fact that Ryan Johnson said, let's make him throw his lightsaber over and just say, fuck it. And then, he's so unimportant he's super unimportant in The Last Jedi. Yeah, he stalls Kylo so 10 people can get out of a cave. Is that really that important to the fucking
so bad?
The rebellion has been going for years and years and has done all this great stuff, and you're leading me to believe that Luke Skywalker was the only person who could make Kylo stop for 10 seconds.
It's his
and then
sleight
he's
of
dead.
hand.
It's like,
oh, it's the best stall ever.
he doesn't really train Rey. He gives her a little bit of, but there's no actual training they had to retcon and just have Leia training Rey because he was like, well, I guess we don't have Luke
Their
anymore.
solution was to have an actress who wasn't even alive anymore train
Yeah,
Rey.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly,
That's
'cause they-
insane.
That is
Are
insane.
we going to talk about the Force movement Leia going through space? Because all that.
No,
I didn't
we're
want
not.
to.
Hey,
I know
no,
we
we're
won't.
not.
Okay, moving on.
No,
but
say
Leia
whatever you
needed to
want.
be
No.
retcon for Rise of Skywalker because there was not a feeling of I felt ripped off because it was like, this is one of my favorite characters, as I've mentioned, and the actress is incredible and has had a life that's been checkered with all sorts of things, and I find her inspirational. And when she passed away, it was like, I want to have closure in some sort of a on-screen way, as with Afterlife, you felt that way about Harold Ramis and all of that. But when it comes to Carrie Fisher, I felt like that was so sloppy, and I'm not going to make everyone relive it. But I just wanted to say that, Jake, while you were saying you needed more from Rey and from Luke, it's like what we got was Holdo and just that you couldn't unsee the Leia coming through space and.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it was like you needed to have something else happen
Yeah.
to her in the next movie.
That was a low. That was one of those lows I was talking about. I think you would think that Leia Organa, the royal princess, who we love, our princess, you would think, who's part of the Jedi bloodline,
Yeah.
you would think seeing her use the Force abilities for the first time would be the most amazing thing that ever happened in Star Wars, and it was some
It's
fucking
the weirdest,
silly bullshit.
Yep.
Dude. It is also, we've talked about this a million times, and we've equated this to Ghostbusters Afterlife and about what Jason Reitman was able to do in one movie that Star Wars wasn't able to do in 3. But bringing back Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia, bringing back all 3 of those actors and being like, whoa, it's been a very long time since Return of the Jedi, and we're gonna see these 3 amazing characters that everybody in the world it feels like everybody loves these 3.
I've never heard one person be like, I don't like Han Solo.
Right.
Fuck off.
Mhm.
Get out of here.
Thinking you're gonna get to see those 3 characters back together and for even one scene, and then it never happens, is so weird. And I have no issue with Han Solo being killed, by Kylo. Like that never bothered me. But it is so weird that they didn't figure out a way to do it where these three characters see each other again. Like, it's been so long since they've all, like when not even actual Luke, fake Luke sees his sister, it feels so full of bullshit and so cheap. He's like saying hi to his sister. I'm like, well, first of all, that ain't actually Luke. Han's dead. Nobody was around for Han's death. Like, fucking Luke was crying in a cabin when Han Solo died, and because he's cut off from the Force, he didn't know it. Like that, it just makes no sense.
But the gold
and then
dice.
fucking but then cut to Ghostbusters Afterlife, where Harold Ramis has been dead for almost 20 years, and you still got to see all four of these characters together in a really meaningful and not hokey way. Like, it was done in a tasteful way that felt really nice to most people who saw it, but Star Wars can't do that. It's such a weird
So they
decision.
gave us Tales of the Jedi, the cartoon that had a bunch of funerals in it because they couldn't do the funerals right.
Listen,
It's just a weird decision.
the thing I hated the most post Last Jedi